One of the things whilst we was looking and learning about Housing Association, in particular platform, we assumed wrongly it were for first-time buyers.
Yes.
And of course now Lynn and I, we could see, we're sitting here, it opened our eyes,
Yeah.
it's not just for first-time buyers.
Yeah, and it's for any age group as well.
Yeah.
Across the board, really.
We will work with first-time buyers, we will work with people that are selling a current property.
It can help people who have gone through matrimonial situations, who've maybe had to sell the family home and then look at buying something else.
Also, we're at retirement age, they may have rented and they want to get on the property ladder.
The only reason why shared ownership may not be an option for them is if their income was over a certain criteria or if they currently owned a property that they were not looking to sell.
First-time buyers are one of the biggest markets for shared owners.
They've worked hard to save the deposit they're able to, but are not quite up there with the deposit rates that perhaps outright need. So it could be sort of 10-15%. With a shared ownership, you can have as little deposit as 5%.
So this is where the shared ownership route would be the best option for them. It gives you the option to be sustainable and affordable when buying that first home.
Another big part of the market of people who've gone through matrimonial situations where they've sold a family home but can't necessarily afford to buy 100% of another one.
They may have children, for example, or they may be moving on their own, so they're looking at perhaps a smaller scale of property or something quite similar to what they had.
I think because people have had that lifestyle where they've had that family home, they provided for their children, they've got that space, that garden. By selling the home that they currently own means that they would qualify for shared ownership depending on their income. You could achieve that same property that you've been living in together. You could get that exact same property on your own, just on a shared ownership basis.
The shared ownership scheme also appeals to people that perhaps have a retirement age. They perhaps can't get a long mortgage term. Looking at the outright market,
they could pick a plot specific on whether they do like their gardening, whether they don't like their gardening. They can be a little bit more picky with it. Once they've achieved that and they've chosen that route, they're going to be moving in to a property that needs little to no work whatsoever, other than an odd change that they might decide to do sort of after the defects period.
It appeals to a lot of different people, so there's a lot of people who've potentially been in long-term rent for a long time, who maybe haven't got a great relationship with the landlord and can, once they look into it, afford shared ownership, and it usually works out a bit cheaper.
People that have perhaps moved outside of the UK, the circumstances have changed and they wish to move back to the UK. The market is very buoyant, as we know, and they may well come back into the UK and realise that, yes, when they were last in the UK, they could have bought outright, but looking at the circumstances now with the market values increasing, that perhaps they can't. So shared ownership is also a route for them to go down.
People that are probably at the higher end of the market, or people that have, probably owned a property for some time, or, they're of an age where they want to retire or downsize even.
It'd be quite easy to go onto the outright market and find a property that's within the budget, but is perhaps not meeting all the key points that are needed. It might be in a better area with a better built-up community, and it's within the catchment of a school area. So it gives them a wider option of properties rather than being stuck to outright.
We've noticed in this road alone that there's a couple of young ladies, probably about the same age, and one of our granddaughters.
It's a mixture, it's a lovely mixture.
Yeah.